So, good day everyone. Ako din si Joshua Kiyoderama, usa sa membro sa grupo nga napangalan og 3CNA. Kami ang first presenter nga mo report about or mo give knowledge or talk about sa lesson 1 na entitled The Highway and its Development. Grupo nga 3CNA kay nag-consist of 5 members including me. And the first member is Princess Joanny Casiano, and next member will be Dan Safi Cabrido, and the third member is Prince Charles Castillas, and lastly Joshua Nokia. And there are five subtopics over the highway and its development. The first subtopic will be history of roads. The history of roads will be discussed by Princess Joanny Casiano, and the second subtopic would be highway programming. The highway programming would be discussed by Dan Safik Cabrito. And third subtopic is highway economy. Highway economy will be discussed by Prince Charles Castillas. And the fourth subtopic would be photogrammetry. Photogrammetry will be discussed by, of course, by me and Joshua Kiyodorama. And lastly, the fifth subtopic would be location of highway. The location of highway would be discussed by Joshua Kiyonokyo. So let's begin the discussion about of highway and its development.
My name is Princess Johnny Casiano, and I am about to tackle the highway and its development. So, modern road networks make it easier for us to travel across borders. Without roads, it would be difficult for cars to travel, and their absence could cost vehicle operators and owners a fortune in car maintenance. Traveling with goods and equipment was easier than during the early Roman Empire period. So, let's take a moment to look at the history and the development of roads. So roads with hard surfaces were discovered in Mesopotamia and are thought to have been built around 3500 BC. So the streets of ore and Oroper stone paved old roads can also be found on the Greek island of Crete. These early road systems served two purposes: to aid armies in their defense against any form of invasion, and two, to transport goods between neighboring communities. Meanwhile, the Romans discovered cement, which enabled them to expand their road networks. So these road networks are still in place. The composition of the Roman roads during the Roman Empire: number one is to a layer of small broken stones, followed by a layer of small stones mixed with mortar and then compacted firmly, and also wearing cores of massive stone blocks properly set and bedded with cement mortar. During the 17th century, under the reign of Napoleon the Great, France made a great stride on road buildings. So Jerome Tresaguet uh, created the first scientific method of road construction and maintenance in 1764, and he was successful in improving the drainage, stone foundation, and road grade. So Napoleon was able to construct roads and highways in France as a result of his achievements. He was a French engineer and best known for his new improved methodology for road construction. So according to him, it is not necessary to prepare the top with heavy stones. Instead, small and broken stones can be used. The benefit of this top layer was that it was rammed or rolled by traffic. The stones jumped into one another, forming a stronger, resistant surface which offered less obstruction to traffic. So 30 years later, a Scottish engineer born in Westminster Abbey, uh, an engineer and president and founder of the Institute of Civil Engineers in London, improved Tresaguet's construction method by using stones with a minimum thickness of 3 inches, a maximum height of 7 inches, and a breadth of 5 inches. So he was also used a flat subgrade, which allowed for the use of a variety stones in the construction. He believed that by using heavy foundation stones above the subgrade, the road will be more firm. He proposed to provide the cross drains at intervals about 80 to 90 meters. They were usually laid below foundation level as as the intersects were large enough to allow the water to percolate from top to bottom of the construction and thus soften the level of subgrade. So England followed the ongoing highway development started by France. Another person is that John Loudon MacAdam. The MacAdam Road, in which crushed stone is placed in shallow convex layers and compacted thoroughly. Thoroughly. So MacAdam construction, named after John Loudon MacAdam. McAdams' method gained recognition as the most scientific method of construction. It was realized that the stress due to well load of traffic get decreased at the lower level of pavement. Therefore, if it is not necessary to provide large stones as foundation. Instead, the subgrade was used with a cross slope of 1 in 36 to facilitate subgrade drainage. This method became very popular. Various subsequent methods were based on McAdams' construction are still used after his name, such as waterbound McAdam or WBM, penetration McAdam, and bituminous McAdam or macadam. In 1858, at the same time, Ely Blake invented the first stone crusher, and Aveling and Porter introduced a steam road roller weighing 30 tons in France. So it's incredible to think that modern engineering technology has transcended and simplified human activities over time. So let's go over a brief history of national roads in the Philippines. Roads have historically been regulated for similar reasons. So the early Saxon laws imposes three mandatory duties for the people to perform, namely to repair the roads and bridges, to repair the castles and the garrisons to aid repel invasions. There was also a decree issued following the Norman conquest of England. The King's Highway is sacred. Anybody who occupies any portion thereof by exceeding the boundaries of his land is considered to have encroached on the king himself. Roads are for public use. All persons who want to use them may do so. So in conclusion, the king's highway is considered sacred. Landowners should not go beyond the boundaries of the king's domains. So the property owners adjoining the roads were required to drain the road, clip any bordering hedges, and refrain from plowing and planting trees, shrubs, or bushes closer than the specified distance from the center of the road. So for those who live near the road must drain the road and refrain from planting flora which may cause inconvenience to commuters. It was clear at that point that the public had a responsibility to protect and maintain the road. So let's go over in the topic highways in the Philippines. The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, has long served as the Philippines' infrastructure arm. It began during the Spanish colonial period. It was the 90s, and transportation was based on roads. Highway construction in the Philippines appeared to be impossible at that time. Roadways in the Philippines were considered during the American period. Its development, like that of other government agency, was dependent on the administration as a result of changes in administration policies and organizational structure. Road rehabilitation and construction occurred after World War II because many roads were destroyed as a result of bombs thrown in various areas. It was paid for by the Japanese government. So the Philippines was also able to receive a grant from the US government. So Maximo Paterno served as the first Minister of Public Works and Communications, 1899. Since then, it has developed and replicated modern engineering technologies that ensure infrastructure building safety standards. TPWH is responsible for planning, designing, constructing, and maintaining infrastructures such as road networks, bridges, and a lot more gearing towards sustainable growth and development of the country. Through international bank loans and aid from other countries, the country was and continues to be able to build and repair road networks. One example is the road network constructed in Cebu by the Japanese government through the Japan International Cooperation Agency. It was also said that his era served as the golden age of infrastructure because the government aimed to build a lot of road networks and improve public transportation. I must say that infrastructure development is an important part of a country's development and decentralization of Metro Manila's dense population. It is also critical that these roads and highways be used for public purposes, which means that vendors should not park their carts on them and trucks should not use them as parking spaces. Let's go over to the planning difficulties. So the development and maintenance of roads and highways is a continuing process alongside with the technological advancement. New equipment and management techniques revolutionized the construction and maintenance methods. Advanced knowledge in the fields of soils, uh, highway materials and designs were adapted for reliability and economic considerations. So the engineers are conscious of the need for roadways to be safe, useful, and attractive. These needs include improvement of the roadside, erosion control, and noise abatement. Engineers also are aware of the fact that highways are vital to the country's development. Highway planners are confronted with problems categorized as follows: financial, political, and technical. So the present economic condition is related to the government budgetary expenditures for payment of foreign debt amortization amounting to billions of pesos a month. So the comprehensive road development plans that are carefully studied by technical experts are twisted or flexed down by political muscles to suit political interests. So roads and highways plan were either deferred or amended or realigned for political reasons. As a consequence, different laws with conflicting purposes and procedures impede or obstruct implementations, causing delay or no action at all. So the politicians now are control DPWH projects as their source of political funds. Highway district engineers' qualification is simply subservience to the political do what I say or get out of my district. Listing of projects given to the district engineer has the corresponding name of favored contractors, the willing victims giving SOP in cash advances. So the rational planning is no longer the objective process based on training and expertise concerning the actual needs of the people, but is rather a political decision. Not even the Secretary of Public Works and Highways could say no because politics is a power that controls appropriation, budget, and appointments of the presidential cabinet members. As a consequence, public confidence tremendously eroded not only in the government's ability to abate these problems but also in the proficiency of the technical men to offer solutions.
So good day guys, so I'm Dasapi Cabrido and I am here to talk about highway programming. So the three inseparable sets of inputs involved in highway programming. First is economic, deals with the question of resources. Resources for example like labor, equipment and materials that will be used. Next is financial, questions of who pays and who spends, how much and where. So infrastructure na nato kasi mabayad o pilay magasto para may bawan if mas food ba sa budget dili. Next is or political and administration. This involves decision making. So diri makita ang mga plano or sa mga na decision man. So in highway programming, projects that are economically viable are selected if they fit into the financial capability and political criteria. Those that don't fit are abandoned, modified, or for substitute, or an alternative but shall pass rigorous test. So next is highway programming approaches. So there are 7 highway programming approaches. First is financial resources are either short or long range implementation by the agencies functions like construction, operation, and maintenance. Next is recognition of legislative and administrative desire and constraint. Third is tentative priorities based on economic analysis, critical situations, present and future expected level of traffic, and claims based on political subdivisions. Fourth, providing continuity of route systems in coordination with other transportation modes. Fifth is selection of projects based on availability of labor and materials, including climatic conditions. Six, scheduling the project's implementation in coordination with other agencies, acquiring right-of-way and making final plan and specifications. Seven, budgetary reserves to cover emergencies like floods and other natural disasters. So those are the 7 highway programming approaches. So next is direct effects of highways construction and its use. So there are three: quantifiable market value, non-quantifiable non-market value, and quantifiable non-market value. So first is quantifiable market value, cost of highways as to planning cost, like sa sweldo sa mga engineers, sa mga gubat sa plano, and mga permits. Next is right-of-way appropriations, like for example sa magyan sa dalan kay naibalay diha or naitagiya sa yuta, so ilam guro ng bayaran yun or something like that. Next is construction cost, like bayad mga gasto sa labor, materials, and equipments na magamit. D is maintenance cost, like pag-ayo sa kalsada, like mga repair sa potholes. Next is operating cost, like sa lights, traffic lights, or mga lights sa kalsada. Next is cost benefits to highway users. So vehicle operating cost, like fuel, maintenance, air coolant, etc. Things like na expenses na makatabang sa pag-operate sa vehicle. Next is travel savings time, commercial, like sa mga pampaseroan, like for example Cebu to Badyan, kung Cebu City to Badyan, if maka-travel sila mas dali, so mas daghan nila ma-earn na kwarta or ma-earn na kwarta lagi. Motorist safety, economic cost of accident, like ilay magasto if na ma-accidente diya, like repair sa sakyanan or repair pagid sa karsada if na ma-damage, gasto sa ospital sa nagdisgrasya or sa lungon. lungon. Next is the non-quantifiable non-market value. First is cost benefit to highway users, like motorist safety, accidents of people, suffering, and deprivation. So dili mo ginanato mo calculate ang kasakit na gibati sa aksidente or ang kasakit sa kanang nawad-an o kana di ginato makalculate bisag unsa pa ka sa math. So next is comfort and conversion. Discomfort, inconvenience, and strain of driving. So di gyud na nato calculate ang ilang mga gibati na kanang pag-drive while drive sila ilang kakapoy. Ilahara na. So ilahara sa gina. Next is aesthetic from driving viewpoints. So benefit of pleasing views and sceneries from roads. So kana di gyud na nato calculate sad kung ganahan ba sila sa view, maybe sa ilahara na hindi rin sila gibati, hindi na nato makalculate man, ilaharan ng problema. Next is quantifiable non-market value. So cost benefit to highway users, travel savings time, non-commercial. So ganiha katong commercials, katong papaseroan. So kaning non-commercial is private pod, so para nato na mag-commute, so kanang private ang sasakyan, mas dali ta maabot sa atong padulngan, mas beneficial po sa tuwa. So next is the planner. So before any project comes to reality, it has to undergo rigorous and careful studies with participation of several line agencies involved, where proposals may be opposed and questioned by other agencies or in the political mill. The planner appoints coordinator or catalyst to work out in exchanging information as to the needs, goals, and alternative solution of those who are affected, and to incorporate them into the planning and decision making. where planners act as coordinators, catalysts, or to work as a community advocates should not either partisan or advocates to a particular solution. So the planner's role is to provide technical and organizational support, to receive inputs or informations on the needs and goals of affected persons, group, or agencies. Third is incorporate the above for planning and making decision. So the planner's role must be of a clarifier, expeditors, conciliators, and impartial negotiators. So next, the myth of rationality must be avoided. So tantangon nimo sa imong mindset na for example na person na kanang best siya field niya and he is a professional dili porke professional siya na tura po ka maminaw niya like unsa iyang suggest imo paminaw mura yung paminaw like paminaw po nimo ang uban ang suggest sa uban i-take in consideration po nimo kay what if na day siya mas better plan for the project and dili nimo siya paminaw porke katong isa ka tao kay na-excel siya sa field. So, imo na siyang tangtangon. You should act as a neutral body. So, next, the functions of the planner. One is to prepare preliminary design, scope of study, and initial work program. Know the basic needs, plan, and objectives of affected person. Second, exploration of alternatives, data gathering by contracting the representative of other agencies involved. Detailed analysis, prepare detailed plan for appropriate community interaction, secure formal ratification from local officials and have the result documented. If nothing goes wrong, this step is considered final. So, good ethics demand that planners should understand that their role is to provide knowledge and unbiased information. So, as a planner, wala kay dapat panigan. So, if naigi-suggest rin na nindot pero naini-suggest po na mas nindot so mo prefer ka dito na atong mas better na idea kanang unlike diri na kanang nindot siya pero mas better na because and you should not take sides for example na kay amigo diri itong dili kayo nindot na idea na kay amigo dito dili nimo siya pilion wala kay pilion na side so you should be neutral in making as if you are the planner. Next is community involvement. Public hearing should involve the public from the start of planning to give them a chance to participate in this discussion and involve them in solicit the cooperation and support of public officials, non-government organizations, influential persons, and conservative group of the community. Next is to create special staff to carry out this function. Next is leadership, community leadership opportunity to participate continuously in the planning stage. Next is organize and development. Organize and develop skilled person to conduct group meetings, workshop, hearing, and other related activities. So it is common practice to call public hearing after all major decisions were made and approved. This makes it no more than information forum to let the public know what the administration wants for them, rather than what the people wants from them. So this means that kanang before pa kanang magplano unsay buhaton sa project kay dapat i-announce ibabaw daan ng mga tao instead na ibabaw na lang ini ka kanang human nagplano tanan niya padong na tukod so mostly maura ba na kasagaran may tabo diri na ngala lang ang mga tao na i-post na din sa Facebook na mo na din ay plano or na day ipapilit dito na kanang tarpaulin na mo ni tukuron day diri day nana so mas better ta if kanang iplano daan kay for example kanang mga kalsada di sa kanang Pirelos or kanang Karkar dapit na mga kahoy so if giplano pa lang na if like dugay kay siya makuan dugay kay widening diya kay dapat ba mga kuan sa mga kanang mga agriculturists na mag kanang kuan ba mag-prevent na ipaputol na kay mga kahoy kuno diya kay kanang mga 100 lapas na 100 years old, so dapat i-involve isa sa plano para kanang kuan na ba kanang tuloy-tuloy na bitong dagan sa project. So yeah, that's all. And next reporter na po, lahi na po.
So hello guys, I am Castillas Prince Charles. I'm here to report about highway economy. So highway economy. A country who will not avail of loans or grant from foreign financing institution will not feel the great impact of their infrastructure projects. If domestic income through taxes alone will depended on, financing institutions such as World Bank insist that projects to which they make grants or loans be justified primarily on the economic basis. So kita og mag-rely lang ta sa economy nato sa paghimo og infrastructure, which is atong economy is very low, especially nga gamay ta nga country, dili jud ta ka-sustain sa paghimo og mga project. So need ta mo loan or moutang dito sa other countries para maka-finance ta sa atong project para improvement, paspas ang improvement. So instead of relying on our own economy, mo loan ta sa other countries. So there are many designs, administered decisions that involve public policies made by selecting the alternative that is cheapest in the long run, meaning the result that is reasonably interpreted must prevail. So kani siya, so katong nastudihan sa mga researchers nga dapat yun implement og una mao siya may atong i-priority sa paghimo build. The intent of expenditures for highways and public transportation are enumerated as follows. Most of the country's expenditures for highway and public transport facilities are based on the principle of pay as you go, meaning road appropriation and expenditures depended on tax collection. So, dire, we pay taxes, they make infrastructures like roads, like public transportation or for public use. So we pay taxes and they make things. So these are the things they made to augment the country's level of economy. So if na road, syempre magpaspas ang for transportation of goods. So mataas ang atong economy, mataas ang everything. Mudako ang gain sa government. If magtaghan kwarta mag-circulate kay paspas man kay na may mga roads accessible ang transportation, and to provide easy access to working place. Next, to facilitate public services, police, fire protection, dali ra kay ka responding kay nanamantay reliable roads nga kagian sa atong mga public servants, sa public officers. To facilitate medical care, schooling, and the delivery of related basic services. So kini karon siyempre atong pandemic uso kay ning delivery. Nakita na nato ang benefits sa paghimo nato roads, dali ra kay ta ka deliver from places to places. Kay na naman tay roads di para sa una. And daghan na kay tag mga naka-benefit anang road. Next, to give land owner benefits to transportation and increase property assessment. So kini especially if natukuran inyong balay tungod kayo sa highway, mudako ang assessment value sa inyong property, which means nga mudako inyong kwarta. And benefit to motor vehicle users through lower cost of operation and maintenance. So kini dili na bumpy roads, nya dili na ka moadtog layo kay nga ruta para makaabot lang ang nga place, kay nanamantay direct karon kay ang ato ang roads accessible naman, dali naman kaayo, dili naman wala na pa libaong. Next, benefit in time saving. Kini syempre kini samot na mag-widening pang maayo, dali na kaayo, wala na traffic, and less road accidents. So here's a highway economy, dili good na to makalikayan ang like negative pros and cons. So nagid na sila yung mga arguments nga which is unsa bay maayo, unsay di. So first, arguments of those who favors borrowing. Kini syempre nagborrow man ta para sa tong kasagaran sa atong infrastructure, no? So kini arguments of those who favors borrowing are: the need is immediate to have instant infrastructure. To impact project will be seen because the pay-as-you-go fund is scattered throughout the entire road system where the situation is most critical. Borrowing encourage investors because of Prosper Quezon. Kini kabaw man gyud ta nga the best good if instant structure ug natay kwarta makabuhat man ta dito no og kaysa maghuwat pa ta unsa pa na nga year magtika left behind ta sa other countries like Malaysia, like Singapore nga karon nga mo atong gitry to reach kuan kining especially the pay as you go taxes maghuwat pa tas taxes nga perti ra man gamay atong tax kay gamay ra man atong country nya dili ka sustain sa atong needs sa paghimo og structures, so we need to borrow good sa other countries or the World Bank ug kini pong pay as you go makatag-katag man sa tibuok Pilipinas nya gamay ra kay nga kwarta nya katag-katagon pa gyud mosamot kadugay ang paghimo og structure, so we really need to borrow money. So pero na siya cons, so these are the cons. Counter arguments of those against financing infrastructure through borrowing. Borrowing may impair the credit rating of government agencies, obstructing other more important improvements. If future income is committed to pay past improvements, no more funds available to maintain the existing system. With much amount available, temptation is there to overbuild and recklessly spend extravagantly. Interest of loan is big waste of public funds. So kini dako jud siya kuan pod noon. Cons kay syempre ang atong government karon we can't deny it nga di jud kasaligan pod. Ang other like budget mapunta sa ilang bulsa ang uban, and ang uban pod maghimo-himo lang project para lang nasa like project niya ang sobra to or like half bisag half ilan nang isud silang bulsa, ang uban pa gani di mga human kay wala na hurot ng budget nya mga na po sila sunod nga budget mo nay usa sa mga cons nya dako po kayo pug interest kay atong pangayoon nga kwarta sa World Bank is trillions man, so ang expected na ang interest ana billions pod, so dako kayong sakit sa atong economy. And ang credit rating sa atong bansa mo dako gyud maayo ang atong government which mo low pod atong credit niya di ta kahuwam sunod og dako. And also there are things aside from building infrastructure nga important sa atong nasod like kuan atong pagkuan sa itong mga like, schools, pag-funds nila sa mga hospitals, daghan pa gyud kayo importante pod. So mo ni ang cons. So the computation and survey. Early engineers' approaches to highway and transportation problems were based on the results of their computation with the aid of slide rule and replaced by calculator machine later ana. This method is a time-consuming and was totally discarded in advent of computers and its opportunities. So karon ang kasagaran na good mostly sa atong mga engineers gamit na og computer or companies computerized na gitanan which is dali ra kaayo and kuan siya kanang time friendly, so meaning dali lang ang atong pag process sa things, dali ra ang computation nya daghan pud mabuhat ang computer nga dili mabuhat sa tao og dali. So example, computers can do processing data for many problems like projecting and statistical studies of traffic and transit passengers, economic analysis, financial programming, geometric, bridge, pavement design and maintenance, pavement management, scheduling for design and construction, computation of earthworks and other quantities, both for planning and payment of contractors. So kini kakuan sa CAD nanan ni sa CAD halos ang uban ani tanan, so which is very very helpful kanato kay dali ra kayo ang pag-design sa mga infrastructure, building, floor plan nya di pa rin sa atong sa una which is the traditional way of drawing things, dugay-dugay gid siya kay kung manuhon og drawing where sa CAD is like kuan ra one click ra sa mouse makabuhat na kag line and everything. So dire 1.10 remote sensing. The definition is otherwise called photogrammetry. It is the science and art of obtaining measurement by photography. Photogrammetry is based on aerial photographs for engineers working data. So kini diri ang di lang ako i-broaden ang pag-explain kay akong next classmate nga mo report ani is siya na about sa photogrammetry. So basically ang photogrammetry is like aerial shots or aerial shots para ma-measure ang topography sa isa ka location niya. Magamit ni siya og drone may paggamit pag measure karon in this current era sa una lahi ang gigamit which is i-discuss next reporter. So engineers working data on location kini makakuha ng location so planning mas padali ang planning, geometric design, right of way mabutang nila asa ang right of way dira asa mas maayo ibutang kay naman sila aerial shot asa ang mas best way, traffic studies, drainage kabaw na sila asa ibutang daan kay makuha man po diri ang soil asa mas maayo ang topography pud sa kuan ug asa diri ang like slope para ang water dito sa ubos, soil classification and identification so daghan gini gamit ning photogrammetry, earthwork measurements, material location, pavement condition and survey. So kini mo ni sila ang gamit sa remote sensing. So kini dako jud kay ni gamit sa ato as soon to be engineers. And that is basically all my report, and my next classmate who will report about photogrammetry will tackle about all those things more specified. So thank you and bye.
Hi, it's me, Alderama Joshua Q, and I will be the one who will discuss chapter 11 to chapter 13. And chapter 11 is entitled Photogrammetric Mapping. So first, let's define what is photogrammetry. So photogrammetry is defined as the art, science, and technology of obtaining reliable information and measurements from aerial photography. So in the past, photogrammetry was a technique used to create exact measurements from images. Pero karon ang photogrammetry kay na develop recently into a versatile approach para sa sayon nga incorporated into a variety of contemporary application. And kababa mo nga ang photogrammetry kay maka-convert from two-dimensional images into three-dimensional models. Kay ang photogrammetry kay nag-consist of or ang remote sensing and rapid photography kay na-combine sa photogrammetry. And karon saan man ta mo gamit or karon saan ta mo gamit og photogrammetry. Ang photogrammetry kay magamit nato kung magkuha ta sa models of small archaeological artifacts, buildings, or even maghimo og whole map sa country. So para makahimo ta og kanang photogrammetric mapping nga concise og precise kay mag-need ta og photogrammetric software and drones. So first kay unsa ni ang photogrammetric software. Photogrammetric software is a crucial component of the everyday operations of the surveying business since it is incredibly adaptable and the best option for those looking for a way to acquire surveying and mapping data. And with the photogrammetric software, you maka-create na ta og 3D model nga object if at least 3 images nga imo ma-captured. And but the images kay pero ang images ani kay magka realistic if ang imong number of pictures nga ma-captured kay mag-increase on every angle. Then ang nganong importante man ang drones. So drones, although photogrammetry has been around for a while, so ang drones kay it has just recently become widely available to the general public. The modern drone market, which offers a variety of professional and entry-level models that easily integrate powerful cameras for photogrammetry applications has been a major contributor to the robust availability of photogrammetry. So ang drones kay mas convenience ikumpara nimo sa lain nga way in para makasukod ang surveyor or makakita sa aerial view or makakuha og aerial photography ang surveyor sa itaas. So ngano mang mas convenient man ang drones kumpara sa mag-schedule og flight ang mga surveyor para magkuha og aerial photography. Ang drones man gud kay cheaper and makontrol sa tao while na siya sa ground and safe sa while ang mag-schedule sila flight or mag-helicopter kay mag costly or kanang mas gasto sila. So next slide kay the area to be covered is photographed in parallel runs with the individual pictures lapped in the direction of the flight and between successive runs. So for stereoscope uses, the following must be considered first, and lap must be greater than 1/2 the picture width specified, not less than 55%, no more than 65%. Second, side lap should average at 25% with less than 15%. So if more than 35% kay it is unacceptable. So dili madawat. So third kay in making map purposes, the variable includes the focal length of the aerial camera, the desired combination of map scale and contour interval, and the ratio of map scale to photograph scale. So natay mga photographic metric technique nga na ay digitizer o makaproduce na sa digital terrain. So if naani sila kay magawa sa computer nga ang ma-develop nga program sa computer kay makita ang profile, cross sections area, and cut and fill earthwork quantities, and lastly the motorist view of the road. So sa photographs and computer record data, makahigama na tang og separate map nga or makagama tag separate map nga maplat na to og dali, and ang maplat na to kay ang highway, drainage and housing, and land use and zoning, and lastly property assessment. Next slide. So kung magama ta og kanang or magkuha tag photograph sa aerial photograph kay para ma-convert na to into maps kay magnito og mga instruments. So there are 4 instruments nga gigamit para converting data from aerial photographs into maps. And first instrument kay ang the Kills and Ballplex stereoscopic plotters. So unsa man ni sila? So ang stereo plotter kay it uses stereo photographs to determine elevation. So it has been the primary method to plot contour lines on topographic maps since the 1930s. And the second instrument is the wild autograph. The wild autograph is the complex optomechanical measurement instrument for the evaluation of analog or digital photograms. It is based on the stereoscopy effect by using 2 aerophotos or 2 photograms of the topography or of the buildings from different standpoints. And the third instrument that we used are the Kern PG2. What is the Kern PG2? The PG2 stereo plotting instrument is used for the production and revision of topographic maps at all scales, large, medium, and small, from super wide, and normal angle topography. And the fourth and last but not the least is the Zeiss stereo planograph. So what is the Zeiss stereo planograph? So the Zeiss stereo planograph is one of the most elaborate and also one of the most universal instruments for the purpose of ever constructed and used to any extent. The instrument as shown here is fitted with a 100mm focal length Topogon lenses for use with photography. So that is the four instruments that are used in converting data from aerial photographs into maps. Let me repeat it again. The first instrument is the Kills and Balplex stereoscopic plotters. Second, the Wild Autograph. The third instrument is the Kern PG2, and lastly, the fourth instrument is the Zeiss Stereo Planograph. So that is the four instruments that are used in converting data from aerial photographs into maps. Let me repeat it again. The first instrument is the Kills and Balplex stereoscopic plotters. Second, the Wild Autograph. The third instrument is the Kern PG2, and lastly, the fourth instrument is the Zeiss Stereo Planograph. So next slide. So let's proceed to chapter 13. And chapter 13 is all about colored photographs. So what is colored photographs? Colored photographs is an aerial colored photograph presents a more detailed and precise information on traffic and parking studies. So ang kaning color photographs kay maka-give information of the geological condition, land use, source of materials, surfaces, and the subsurface drainage. So kakita mo ka ng may mga geologists nga ma-feature sa TV, then magamit og then makita nato ang mga different colors like the red ones and green and blue nga infrared kay mao na ang mga affected areas or areas nga naay problem or geological changes. So that's all for the chapter 11 to chapter 13, and the next reporter would be the one to discuss about the location of the proposed highway till the end. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Joshua Ginocchio. I'm going to report lesson 14, location of the proposed highway. Fields were the origins of early roadways. People's movements and the usage of motor vehicles push road officials to enhance road alignment by reducing abrupt bends. Road width was standardized and gradients were labeled. New highway sites are combined with curvature gradients and other roadway characteristics to provide pleasant driving condition. So to enhance roads, a preliminary plan for controlled minimum design speed, roadway cross-section, and maximum slope should be developed considering the following consideration. Number 1, reliable cost estimate. Number 2, character and hourly distribution of traffic. Number 3, economic and community benefit factor. Number 4, availability of funds. So let's proceed to the local surveys in the rural areas are divided into 4 stages. So mao ni ang 4 stages. Number 1, reconnaissance survey of the entire area between the terminal points. Number 2, reconnaissance survey of all feasible routes. So first, atong i-define ang reconnaissance survey. So reconnaissance survey is an extensive study of the entire area that might be used for a road. The purpose of the reconnaissance is to eliminate those roads or sites which is impractical or unfeasible and to identify the more promising roads of sites. Number 3, preliminary survey of the best road. So preliminary survey includes gathering geospatial data about the proposed route and the project requirements for data outputs. Number 4, location surveys taking of the right-of-way the highway and the structure for construction. So location survey establishes all corners and properties line of the subject property to include finding or setting monuments. So let's proceed to stage 1 reconnaissance survey of the entire area. Number 1, stereoscopic examination of small-scale aerial photographs of the area supplemented by available maps. The second one, determination control of photography and land use. Number 3, location of visible routes based on photographs and maps. So mo na belong sa stage 2 reconnaissance survey of visible route. Number 1, examination of large-scale aerial photographs of each route. Number 2, determination of the detailed control of photography and land use. Number 3, preparation of route maps by photogrammetric methods. Number 4, location and comparison of visible routes on photograph and maps. Number 5, selection of the best route. So ato na ta sa stage 3, preliminary survey of the best route. So the first one, prepare large-scale topographic maps utilizing route images and photogrammetric techniques, or prepare large-scale topographic maps by ground survey lead by optimal route placement produced on photographs. So the second one, design of the preliminary location. So proceed na ta sa stage 4, location survey. Staking of the right of way and the highway and structure of construction. So proceed na ta sa next topic. Lesson 15, location of bridges. Highways and bridges serve just one purpose, to transport traffic. However, occasionally advantageous alignment must be compromised in order to enable a right-angle crossing to a tiny brook. A huge bridge horizontal and vertical curvature shape provides major design and construction challenges. So the bridge survey report should be accompanied by accurate data on waterway and the historical behavior of the water. The bridge survey data shall include the condition, stream characteristic, and the adjacent structure on the stream, more particularly the waterway opening. When the location of the bridge is approximately determined, the following requirements must be considered. 1. A complete data report and special survey of the site. First, start with an introduction, set of the tone by explaining the purpose of the survey. Number 2, use visualization, images, and graphs are an effective way to tell a story. So, number 2, prepare sketches and full-scale maps and profiles. Number 3, the survey report must contain accurate data on the waterway for all behavior of water. Number 4, there must be a complete report on the condition, and stream characteristics. Number 5, a complete data of an adjacent structure, particularly the waterway opening. Number 6, if possible, the skewed bridge should be avoided. So we're done to lesson 15, so let's proceed to lesson 16. Highway plans and specifications. Plans and specification includes instruction and criteria for construction of highways, bridges, and other infrastructure projects. The specification are written instruction and condition considered as integral part of the contract between the contractor and the highway agency, classified as legal documents. The complete data scheme, the road which is incorporated in the geometric design are: number 1, traffic; number 2, drainage; number 3, erosion control; number 4, roadside development; number 5, structure; 6, soils; number 7, pavement. Presentation of a road plan. Number 1, the upper sheet is allocated for the plan top view, showing the horizontal alignment, right right-of-way takings, drainage arrangement, and other features. Number 2. The lower half is allotted to the profile where the original elevation of the ground surface is plotted. The roadway center line and the vertical alignment or grade line for the road is indicated. Number 3. The vertical scale of the profile is usually exaggerated, enlarged from 5 to 10 times for precise detail. Number 4. The profile and other details of the drainage channels or connecting roads including ramps are also presented. Number 5. The estimated earthwork quantities for every 50-meter station of the other intervals indicated along the bottom of each sheet along with the estimated overhead. This will serve the engineer and the contractor. Number 6. The roadway cross-section for every situation in the whole project stretch is indicated on another sheet of the plan. Number 7. Another sheet of drawing showing all structure and roadway appurtenances is included. Number 8. The standard size of the drawing sheet is 55 centimeters times 90 centimeters. Among ang partial list of subject covered by the standard drawing. Number 1. Pipe culverts, concrete box culverts, guardrail and parapet, curbs, gutters, curb structures, sidewalks, drainage, inlet and outlet structures of numerous types, manholes, riprap and other devices used for bank protection, fences and right-of-way, and the last one, other survey markers. So let's proceed to the specifications. Specification drafting is a difficult undertaking that necessitates knowledge of contract law as well as the road practices and experiences. Indicate materials and craftsmanship may emerge from requirements that are carelessly prepared and poorly expressed. It generally involves an additional cost to the owner or contractor and has resulted in legal action. So highway specifications are divided into two. The first one, standard specification apply to projects implemented by the administration which treats the subject that repeatedly occurs in the agency work. The second one, special provision covers particular item of the project in question that includes additional modification to standard specification. This includes copies of all documents required to secure competitive bids and contracts. Specifications are also subdivided into two. The first one, the general clause that deals with the bidding procedures and award execution and control of work and other legal matters. The second one, specifying detail regarding the materials, manner of work execution, and how to pay quantities are to be measured. That's all. Thank you.